Airchecks.com.
We had some youngsters to come up behind us, with us. His name is Larry O.J., Melvy Soul, we called him, and King James.
I remember.
Okay. And those guys came. Well,
I think you had another gentleman too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Al Ballard.
Yeah, and I'm going to get to that next.
Okay.
Larry O.J. came up, and Larry is now in Detroit, and he's the number one voice. He's not called Larry O.J. anymore. It is Dr. Lawrence Elliott, and he is the number one voice in Detroit. Melvy Soul is not called Melvy Soul anymore. He is in Memphis, and he is called Cookin' Jones now.
Melvin Cookin' Jones.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Melvin Cookin' Jones. And he's doing just that. He's the number one voice in Memphis. So, King James, unfortunately, passed away from cancer some 5 years ago. But those were the big three. And then here come Al Ballard. Al Ballard and Jim Fraser left Greenville, Mississippi about the same time. And Fraser, originally Greenville, Mississippi, Fraser came to WMPP in Chicago, and a guy named JJ, who was 5 feet tall and weighed 400 pounds, was a friend of Muhammad Ali, and Fraser perhaps knows Muhammad Ali better than most people in the city of Milwaukee. And as a result, now let him explain about that in a minute. Al Ballard, he's up in San Francisco now, bless his soul. His lovely wife Mary is still here, and the kids. And brother Al, I tell you, he had some unfortunate circumstances. Then the riots came in 1967, and Ballard had a little Rambler station wagon or something, and no, it wasn't a station wagon, a little Rambler coupe. And he got to 27th and Center, and I had got permission from belligerent Chief Breyer for our air personalities, Dr. Bopham and all that, to be on the air. So he locked the city up. Nobody could move, so they would let us come to the radio station. And the stores were all closed, and we had to I called Herb Cole, who's now the chairman of the board of the Bucks, and they opened up the stores in the community where the young mothers could get milk for their babies and food stuff. Yeah. Some of them out there, I remember that. But Al Ballard got on 27th and Center, and the riot squad, or the 700 squad, or whatever we call the tactical squad, stopped Al and say, "Hey, niggas, said, don't you know ain't nobody supposed to be moved on the street?" He said, "But I work at WAWA, and I got permission from Mr. Ocwhite, who was our assistant general manager and program director, and said, I got permission from him to travel, and he got permission from the chief, and the riot squad asked him, said, what's in that trunk?" Thought he had a can of gasoline or something in there, because it didn't have no cap on it. You could smell gas, you know. Yeah. It was hot in the summertime, so he asked me, what's in that trunk? And Al said, well, I don't know what's in there. I just bought the car. He said, you one of them smart niggas. I take this shotgun and blow it over. Al said, good, then we'll both know what's in there. And by that time, 1968 came, and then Jim Fraser.
April 15th, as a matter of fact, 1968. There were a few of us who came. As a matter of fact, we were not supposed to stay. And those three included Butterball. That's what we called him. His name was Bill Crane, Cecil Hale, and myself. We were transferred from WVON in Chicago under the ownership of Leonard and Phil Chess to the station now called WNOV. That was our sister station at the time. And our premier thing was to get the station off the ground, get it running, and then we were going back to Chicago to WVON to a regular slot there. But it got good. Cecil Hale went back, Butterball went back, and I stayed.
And you've been here ever since?
And I've been here since April 15th, 1968. Now, Cecil Hale is living in Paris, France.
Oh, yes.
Butterball, Bill Crane, is at WLS Radio. He's the chief engineer over there and doing remarkably well.
In Chicago.
In Chicago. He's about in the 5 or 6 figure bracket over there now, and Lord knows how many figures Cecil is doing right now over in Paris.
Yeah.
But that's his home over there, and we made our premiere here April 15, 1968, and after we got it started off and got it running pretty good, OC was still at WAWA at the time, and a lot of folk thought that because I was at one station, OC was at another. Now, we battled, we fought like cats and dogs on the air, but little did they know that OC and I had known each other prior to my coming to Milwaukee. We'd see each other at conventions, NATRA, which is an abbreviation for National Association of Television and Radio Announcers. Boy, I wish they'd come back. And, we got hooked up that way. And
with the Marvin Gaye's, the Smokey Robinsons, the Aretha Franklins, and Natalie Cole. Natalie was small, and Diana Ross was small. Jack, you know him now as Jack the Rapper.
Out of Orlando, Florida now. Yeah. And see, those kind of people. And those kind of conventions were held in various cities. And that's why I say today that during that time, OC and I were in the air more than most disc jockeys are on the air. There was a plane out of here going wherever it was. OC was on one, I was on the other. We'd hook up in Chicago at O'Hare Field and go to wherever we had to go to. And right after that, a gentleman now working at Channel 4, WTMJ, his name is Bill Taylor. Bill came to Milwaukee. As a matter of fact, I had known Bill in Chicago, and then too, like OC, I was in charge of WNOV Radio. I was program director, and that was as high as the boss went. Other than that, it was Mr. Bob Bell, who was general manager, but he lived in Chicago. And Bill came in search of a job. And I had promised Bill, I said, once we get situated, man, you're going to have to take over. And one Sunday, that's how Bill caught me, because I normally wasn't at the station, but being in the position that OC can testify to this, being a manager himself, Bill just happened to come up to Milwaukee. Now, I don't think he just happened to come. He came with a purpose, and he caught me at the radio station and said, man, I'm holding you to your word. I'm here, and I'm ready to work.
And he's been smoking ever since.
He's been smoking ever since. But the killing part is, Bill didn't tell me that he had his wife and children downstairs in the car.
So you didn't have no choice to give him a job.
Baggage and all. I said, hey, man, do you have somewhere to stay? He said, don't worry about that. Do I get the job? I said, well, as of 5 minutes ago, you just went on payroll. I said, now what about the house? He said, I can't repeat what he said. But Bill started to work for us, and like OC said, he's been smoking ever since.
And now he lives in the city of Mequon, and his lovely wife is an attorney, and he and the family are doing quite well. Bill Taylor is
very well.
A memorable person and a personable personality at WTMJ TV.
See, it's been said to copy is the most sincerest form of flattery, and I feel that now, if it sounds like I'm getting ready to pin bouquets on OC and myself, I am. Like I said, to copy is the most sincerest form of flattery, and I guess throughout the years, OC and I must be the most flattered people in the business here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, because I remember one gentleman that I could do the morning show. Now, I didn't have to tape my show. I just waited until he came on the air, and I could hear my show all over again. So I knew what I sounded like that morning. And the same applied to OC. You've got your interns, and now here's where the helping situation comes in. I know for a fact that OC did it, and I did it too. If I had $1 for everybody that I trained, and OC had the same amount, well, we could do very well right now. I wouldn't have to worry about a thing. OC could smile and style in. See, he wouldn't have to be sitting here sweating and cussing and going on at Dr. Fawcett.
In fact, Al Perkins of Al, you know him now as Al Hudson.
In one way, yeah. One way, yeah.
I started Al Perkins here, if you recall.
Al Perkins.
And he came later as the #1 voice in Detroit, where he was murdered not too many years ago, about 11 years ago, as the Percolator. And then came our own Bob Collins.
Bob was a newsman.
Bob Collins, who is now the boss here at the programming. And Bob came over to 5609 West North Avenue. What was then WAWA-FM, and Reverend Johnny E. Jackson was our gospel person. And, of course, W.D. Patterson, Reverend W.D. Patterson on Channel 24 came in to do WAWA-FM when we obtained it in 1964. And he came in to do the AM, and then we switched the gospel to the FM, and then it was Reverend Johnny E. Jackson here for 23 years of that. And we had a lot of fun. Let me break away here and do something, and we'll be right back and see how much you know is what I told the truth or not this morning. 799-1590. You out there in the audience, you get ready. And do you remember any of this, or am I telling the truth or just seeing ghosts? Hang on.
Fashionable Frames carries the latest in eyewear. Among their large selection, you'll find Billy D. Williams, Playboy, Pierre Cardin, Hazel, Gucci, Christian Dior, and many others. If you want the latest in eyewear, see the Sight Center. They have the styles to fit your lifestyle, featuring the latest design and color. If you haven't been to the Sight Center, you should. The Sight Center has experienced professional licensed optometrists ready to examine your eyes and handle any sight problems you may have. Call the Sight Center at 445-5501. Mention you heard their commercial on WAWA, and you receive a coupon worth $100 off your second pair of glasses. That's right. Call the Sight Center at 445-5501. Mention WAWA, and you'll receive a coupon worth $100 off your second pair of glasses. The Sight Center, 4001 West Capitol Drive.
Hey, we will be with you in 60 seconds, so don't you go away.
OC, prevent costly transmission problems. Get a transmission tune-up at Accurate Transmission Service for just $9.95. The lowest priced in Milwaukee tune-up includes the road test, cleaning the pan and the screen, replace the pan gasket, band and linkage adjustment, and change the transmission fluid. Accurate Transmission is Wisconsin's largest independently owned transmission service. Transmission tune-ups just $9.95 since 1966. Accurate Transmission has fixed over 300,000 transmissions for just $9.95. Accurate Transmission will provide you with the best transmission service you have ever seen. Tune-ups take about a half hour, so my friend, just call Accurate for an appointment, and they'll do it for you while you wait. 5 convenient locations to serve you, including 7124 West on Fond du Lac Avenue, 4106 North on 76th Street. You should have your transmission tuned up every 20,000 miles or sooner to avoid costly repairs. My tip to you is take your car to where you get Accurate service. That's Accurate Transmission Service, and tell them OC sent you.
Thank you. Yeah, Jim, you have anything to conclude before we go?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I remember, OC, for 10 years running, why I hated your natural guts.
Well, you hate me, I was your friend.
I know that, but you took an award from me, and I'm coming out to your house and get that award back, too. For those of you who don't know, for 10 years running at our convention, the National Association of Television and Radio Announcers, Ocwhite took top awards. The best black disc jockey in the country.
And that was because of community involvement primarily, I guess, and all the things at Garfield Park, Dandelion Park, Ocwhite Soul Club establishment, painting the elders' home, giving away the Christmas basket.
Go ahead, drop a few names if you want to. No, that's all right. Yeah. See, when I said in the country, I didn't mean just Milwaukee, Wisconsin, or Racine, or Kenosha. I said in the entire country. And believe me, that was and still is an honor to reckon with. And, we had some heavyweights in those days. OC named a few.
Georgie Woods.
Oh, man. George, the man with the goods. WDAS in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Boy Brown at KJET in Beaumont, Texas.
See, those were heavyweights. And not only...
Rodney Jones.
Rodney. Where is he? Down in New Orleans?
Yes, he's in Shreveport.
Okay. Shreveport, Louisiana. Yeah. And
Joe Howard in Detroit. And Hal Jackson Jr. Hal Jackson Sr., I should say.
Big boys in the business.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Eddie Castleberry, and you hear him on Shirt and Black Network News now sometimes.
Yes, Sir Walter.
Yeah.
All the big fellas out of Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Hal Brown at WMA, the AMO in Pittsburgh, and Sir Walter does a talk show, and Chatty Hattie at WGIV in Charlotte.
Yeah, right.
Chatty Hattie.
That was the gentleman out of Memphis, Tennessee. You probably in the audience know him as a recording artist, but OC and I remember when he was on radio station WDIA. That's when he started walking the dog.
Rapping Rufus Thomas.
That's him.
Yeah, and Honey Boy.
That's him, Muhar, and all the fellas down there in Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah, and then St. Louis Spider.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah,
There was OC, I can't remember his name. Perhaps you can help me with this. He was the president. I believe he was the president at one time. He was out of St. Louis. Dave Dixon.
He died on the way back from Chicago.
Died on the way back from Chicago. That is right.
Car accident.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Ocwhite,
yeah.
I am the one that called in and told you that I remembered everything. As Jim might know me, he knows me at that time, even when he came here to Wisconsin, as Maxine and Gaynor.
All right, darling. We're trying to get as many calls in as we possibly can this morning. I thank you for calling. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
You know, did we tell the truth or did I tell the truth? Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
I remember a lot of black DJs, Jim Frazier and yourself. And I wanted to remember Sweet Be Cool.
Who, dear?
Sweet Meat Cool, Donnie Lyons.
Oh, yeah. He was a byproduct. He's over there in Michigan now acting like he didn't have no good sense. Yeah, he's over here.
And another one that passed on that, was King James and Dr. D. Warsaw.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I remember Dr. D. I think Dr. D had a heart attack on the playground.
Yes, he did.
Playing basketball. Yeah, I remember him very well. Yes, indeed.
Those were some of the greats, and as yourself, still the great. And I just like to say, keep on keeping on.
Well, Black history in Milwaukee, so far as black communication and radio is concerned, we just trying to make it. In fact, I do a blues show every Saturday morning now. They got me back on here.
OC tells you that he gets down to where the rubber beats the road.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Good morning. What did you say? Good
morning, OC.
Yeah, that's
I
the
say
truth.
that you telling the truth because Dr. Bob was one of the greatest. I come up under Dr. Bob, and I thank God today for the great Dr. Bob. He did everything for the community, and if it wasn't from him, I don't think I would have made it myself because Dr. Bob opened up a lot of ways for us kids when we were kids at that time.
Yeah, and he had all those beauty contests and kiddie things.
He got us passes to the movies when the parents couldn't pay our way, and he set up dance parties for the kids that was having birthdays. He recognized us, so see, we didn't have nothing, but he made it out of something, and I thank God for Dr. Bob, and I hate he's gone because I really miss him.
Yeah, one of the reasons that we are probably falling behind in black communities of America today, those who are capable of doing and have got will not reach back and get those who have not.
That's right, OC. And Dr. Bob, he's the greatest.
Yeah, he was a lot of fun that he and I had.
He sure was.
All right, darling.
All right.
Bye-bye. Yeah, tremendous person. Good morning.
Good morning, OC. Your program was beautiful this morning. I would like to hear tapes of King James.
Yeah, I had a tape of King James, and it's got partially erased. It's not very clear. I had one of King before he passed away, and he was a lot of fun. In fact, Tyrone Davis is going to be in town on Friday up at the Odyssey, and Tyrone and King James used to stay up all night, and I don't know where in the world it was, but anyway, they got raided one night, and they called me at home, and I had to go to the police station with the house slippers and robe and pajamas and beg the captain to let him out because all of us together didn't have much money. The captain wanted $500, but we got out and he got to work.
Yeah, I remember how much he loved Tyrone Davis music.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of fun King James was.
Okay, thank you.
And forever will be remembered.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Good morning.
Yes, and Dr. White, I like to say that Dr. Bob did a lot for the community, too. And once a DJ came on and a record played all night long, and we finally got in contact with you that next morning, and we asked you it was on the weekend. What happened to that DJ? You said he got fired.
Yeah, that was Mike Miles. He's now down at Kenosha at a station now.
WLIP.
Yeah, that was Mike Miles. I remember that.
Yeah, you did a lot for the city of Milwaukee, fires, DJs, and Dr. Bob. And the husbands would get mad about how he would say the women would fret.
That's why
the women's pet.
That's why he had to go home and pull them shades down. So
That's right.
They didn't want nobody to know where he lived. He told all that talking in wasn't going to do nothing. Ran.
That's right.
Okay, darling. Thank you.
Okay, have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was guys and King Nate and other guys that came through. There was a lot of
Bridges and sounds like that.
Mr. Walter G. Beach and Miss Janetta Robinson did the talk show for us. It was called Community Challenge, Milwaukee Challenge.
Yes, indeed.
Good morning.
Hello, OC?
Yes.
I heard you talking about Manny Marlin Jr. this morning.
Yes.
And I used to live right up the step with him when we had the record shop on 6th and Walnut.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about then, huh?
Yeah, And, I remember when he first left here, something happened to him.
He went back home to Chicago.
And it was broadcast on the radio that he had died.
No. He went back home to Chicago.
Oh, there wasn't his wife named Bessie?
Yeah.
Okay, I talked to her and she told me that.
Yeah, well, no, he's still alive. He was yesterday evening. I know that much.
Yeah, I know because he came back down, about 4 or 5 years ago?
I was hoping he was going to be out of town because I knew he was going to do this Black History this morning, but I went by his house and his car was there and I saw the little head moving around in there. I didn't want to stop and nobody go back and tell him what I said about them onions either.
Yeah, because I knew him and Bessie.
All right, dear.
Okay,
bye-bye.
Thank you.
OC, good morning. Hello?
Yes, I want to ask Fraser. I remember one person they didn't even mention, Cigar Lewis.
Oh, Tommy Cigar Lewis. Yeah, well,
he was never.
I remember Tommy very well. As a matter of fact, I still know Tommy very well. Tommy was one of the premier nightclub jocks, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Tommy gave up the business a little while ago. Well, I take that back. As a matter of fact, I think Tommy is still spinning records. I don't know the locations, but, you know,
he was primarily talking about the guys on the air that had been on the air, that's all. With no discredit to any one of the guys who had followed and done a good job in the community. Okay, lady?
Yeah.
All right, there.
All right.
Bye-bye. Yeah, I got to do this couple of things, and then, Jim, we'll have to close up for that.
Okay.
The Sight Center, 4001 West Capitol Drive. Capitol Drive.
And the first black female air personality was the sister of the guy that owns the Odyssey, Dave Reynolds. His sister, Othello, was the first black female air personality on the air in the city of Milwaukee.
Is that right? What station?
Right here, WAW.
Is that right?
Yeah, she had a show in the afternoon. Then came Misty and all these other people, you know.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed.
Take a tip from me, OC. Prevent costly transmission problems. Get a transmission tune-up at Accurate Transmission Service for just $9.95.
Well, Jim, it's time for us to go.
I sure hate to. I really hate to. Boy, you know, it's been a blast this morning, and I certainly hope the people listening have had as much fun as we've had bringing it to them this morning.
Well, we got to get into, before the end of the Black History Month, perhaps we'll get into the gospel and who was first and who did what. And we go back to the days of Elmer Sissom and Reverend Latham and Mrs. Johnny Latham and those people who made the gospel possible. But we'll get a chance to get to all of that, too, hopefully before Black History concludes. There's so much to tell, and we try to remember it so well. But have a good day. We love you anyway. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Airchecks.com.